And now the best number ever, 69, the law of unintended consequences, which is the perfect one to be 69 because 69 is an unintended consequence of something else. But let's dive in.
The law of unintended consequences, number 69. Also, every revolution ends up eating its own young grit resilience doctrine. In this very dangerous, arcly pessimistic postmodern fallacy, the bogus, quote, law of unintended consequences, once a semi-humorous satirical corollary of Murphy's Law, is elevated to the status of an iron law of history. This fallacy arbitrarily proclaims a priori that since we can never know everything or securely foresee anything, sooner or later in today's complex world, unforeseeable adverse consequences and negative side effects, so-called, quote, unknown unknowns, end quote, will always end up blindsiding and overwhelming, defeating and vi vi vitiating any and all naive do-gooder efforts to improve our world. Instead, one must always expect defeat and be ready to roll with the punches by developing grit or resilience as a primary survival skill. This nihilist fallacy is a practical negation of the possibility of any valid argument from Logos. See also Tina.
All right, let me go check what Tina is again because I remember.
Yeah.
Uh, gosh. Oh,
So it seems like what this one is saying is it seems like it's saying the law of unintended consequences is used as an argument to shoot down um it sounds like well-intended ideas or well-intended initiatives um because something is always going to go wrong. Um It's because like
yeah,
Murphy's Law is whatever can happen will happen. And it's like it seems like what this is tending to imply, because it says it's elevated of Murphy's Law. It seems like it's saying that anything bad can happen, so everything bad will happen is what it sounds like it's used in. I'm
right.
curious if that sounds right to you.
Tina is there is no alternative,
Got it. Yeah.
which in itself is an assumption, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
it seems like this is funneling into worst case scenario as the unintended consequences. Like yeah, it's like it's a law that bad things are going to happen as a result of what you do, no matter what, is what it sounds like.
yeah, yeah, the assumption that that will always happen. Um, so yeah, I recall what comes to mind with me with this one was the COVID vaccine, um, which is the first vaccine in history that instead of using like a smaller version of the virus that practically does you no harm. It doesn't have the virus at all. It just has the coding protein that the virus uses just so your body can develop antibodies. And so there's basically um, it mitigates any chance of side effects more than like any other vaccine ever. And so it's basically impossible. The only side effects that you would have is your body just normally going through the developing antibody process, which makes you feel sick temporarily. Which when I got my vaccine, it knocked me the fuck out for 24 hours, and then I was like totally good the following day. But I remember people saying, um, "Well, we don't know what the side effects are," assuming that there are side effects, and there are not. There are absolutely not. It's literally impossible. Um, so it's yeah, I just found it fascinating. Um, and just so I don't get this in the comments, I want to cover like what side effects is regarding this, um, because yes, the period where somebody's developing antibodies, if you are prone to heart, oh my gosh, like high blood pressure risk, um, that can be a problem during that process of you getting antibodies. So, yes, besides that, like consult a doctor. But that this is true for just like any vaccine ever. So, yeah, it's also one of those things that like correlation doesn't also necessarily mean causation. Where I've seen reports of like people get the vaccine and then they get sick by some other measure that was completely unrelated, but just because they just so happened to get the vaccine the day before, they have the correlation. They're like, oh, those two things happen; they must be related. No, coincidences can happen. So, anyways, I just want to throw that one out there. That's the first one that comes to mind. That it's like uh, that we don't know what the consequences are, and therefore we should be afraid of it. Instead of saying you don't know if it's even possible to have consequences from this. It's not a law that there are unintended consequences. You can't just assume that everything will come with a consequence with that. So, anyways, I don't know. That's the first one that came to my mind. What are Alan's thoughts?
Mm. Yeah, I think for me, I don't really have a ton to say on this one. It seems pretty cut and dry. It just seems like there's a bias towards things. Uh, if there's something going on, it's a bias towards negative outcomes and using that as a reason why not to do something.
Yeah,
Uh,
when you have no evidence for
right.
it.
Yeah, it's just like kind of like I mean this isn't quite exactly the same thing, but like kids being told that if they masturbate they'll go blind. You know,
Yeah,
it's like that would be an unintended consequence. Like um yeah, it just to me it's like I think for me what's at the heart of this one is people either wanting control or wanting to be right, and then grasping at some type of fallacy to try to put them in control or to make them right. And this seems like one of those that people would use. Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.